Welcome back to Brew Review Winnipeg. This is kind of our conclusion of the Flatlanders Beer Festival. The cameraman and I, we went to Flatlanders this year, tried over 110 different beers. Seriously? No, it's not. Whatever. It's very good. Ridiculous, but awesome. Very fun time to go see what's all going on in Winnipeg, as well as in the more broad Canadian beer community. We have to say though, we had a lot of very good beers. Some not so great, some really surprisingly not so great, which is really sad, but it is what it is. Learning experience for I guess some of those companies. Move on. But we have to say our favorite beer there, or at least my favorite beer there, was the Peg Beer Company's coconut porter. To me, that was like, oh, so good. It was so dark and malty and rich and nutty, and I could just drink that for days and just be so satisfied. I don't know what it was about it, but it was like liquid heroin or something. Just delicious. A really surprisingly good beer, kind of like a runner-up, I'd say, would be the Ace Hills Lager. Yeah, a lager. So surprising. I don't really know what they did with it, but they kind of, I don't know, maybe they threw in a little bit of caramel malt in with their batch, their lager batch, but it had a bit of a maltiness to it, kind of similar to like a Stella's, but it was just better. Like, it was just so much better. You know, lagers are probably one of the hardest beers to brew because you can't do too much of anything, and if you do, it's just going to be a terrible beer. Too much hops and you're only tasting hops, too much malt and it's just too sweet, and it's not that easy drinking taste which you want, and it's, to be frank, it'll just get generic. But the Ace Hills Lager and Pilsner, like, they were just out of this world. So that's kind of like the surprising mention. Brewed out of Ottawa, but their market is more Toronto and New York. So good on them. Most unique beer for me was, I have two of them actually that kind of tied. The Half Pints Aztec Porter with chipotle and other chilies in it. It was like if you think of like a chili chocolate, that's what that beer was. It was super malty, wasn't too carbonated, but it was quite spicy. It was a little bit bitter. That was very good. I don't know if I would pick up a whole thing of that, but it was definitely worth a try. And then the other one was the Cucumber Ale. I completely forget who that was from. I know Steamworks had one, but there was someone else who had a really good one as well. Favorite brewing company there was Winnipeg's Non-Such Breweries. They had 4 beers there. They had a Belgian Inglesur. I don't know if that was the Inglesur or whatever it is. Maybe Inglesur is actually, Belgian for like butthole or something. I don't know. But they had a Vienna Lager. Was it? No, a Saison. They had a Saison. They had a couple other really good beers there, which, their whole lineup was just very solid. There wasn't a beer that they had that I was like, I don't like this, and they're new. They're being jerks with their motorcycles. No, Non-Such. Non-Such. They're marketing themselves more as a premium beer. They're not trying to get that Bud Light lager kind of hick beer that people try and make right at the start. I'm looking at you. But they're trying to go, big, guns a-blazing right away, selling a premium beer at a premium price, I assume. I haven't actually seen them on sale yet anywhere, but I was very pleasantly surprised with them. There was one that tasted like what the Wells Banana Bread ale, banana bread beer should have been. It was like banana bready, kind of raisiny, kind of like, it was that Belgian beer. It's very good. Yeah, ciders. Surprisingly, there was quite a number of ciders. I think the best cider there was Lone Tree Ciders had probably the best offerings. They had a black currant cider. They had, I think, like a rhubarb cider or a ginger apple. The ginger apple cider was so good. Like, it was a mixture between like a really spicy ginger beer and then like a really kind of not super dry but just a nice mellow apple cider. So the two of them came together and they were just so good. Which is really awesome, and I can't wait to try more. What else? What else happened? Oh yeah, so every year I kind of like to say, okay, what is kind of the beer, what is kind of the feel that all the brewing companies are trying these days? And this year, I believe it was either the Saison or the Kolsch. We saw quite a number of those from the different brewing companies around. I like that because I like both the Saison and the Kolsch's. You know, Kolsch especially for summertime, super, you know, light-ish, but also has a bit of substance to it. So, yeah, I like that. So that was kind of my my shtick to Flatlanders. To the people I ran into on the bus that follow our Instagram account, yeah, shout out to you guys. Awesome. To everyone else, brew on.
Someone like you